Guys, welcome to today's stream. Hold on for a second because I gotta do this. I gotta do this stuff real quick. So give me a second. Alright, that's out the way. I can't wait for that to come out, bro. I'm gonna be playing that. Definitely gonna be playing that. Anyways, in the meantime, I will be playing Grid. So let me go ahead, post. Let everybody know I'm live. Alright, what can I pose? Yeah, let's just pose clouds. It posts. He posted. Cool. Alright. Post on YouTube. Post on Facebook. That usually nobody from Facebook joins, but post anyways. Alright. Okay, let's get into this stream. Overall, see what I can do with this game. I should have got some more water. Dang. I got enough. I'll do what I can with what I got. Okay, what race can I do? Let's see what this is all about. Nah, I don't want to do that. I think there's only one car with that. About to say, I'm like, what's going on? It's like acting like I can't do nothing. Yeah, let's purchase this. Do what I can with that. That's actually kind of cold. I like that. Yeah, we're gonna go with that one. Can't hear nothing. It's like all quiet. All right. Oh, I can't even do it. Oh, it's one of these races. Okay. It's like, how come they ain't gonna let me do no qualifying race? Like, I always get to do a qualifying race. No, one thing, this car ain't got no handling, bruh. None whatsoever. It just feels weird turning in this car. It's like, this person want to drive all out in front of me. I don't like when people do stuff like that in games. I'm like, bruh, scoot over. I'm gonna pass him up. I gotta ram his car. Yeah, it's like, you gonna move out the way. Or was I in like 9th place? Now all of a sudden I'm in 1st. These races are so confusing. I never get it. I never get what I'm supposed to do. I don't know if I'm doing rally. I don't know if I'm racing the other cars. I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to be doing. It's like, it's mad confusing, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna drive, act like I am racing, pass up these cars. They get in the way, ram them. Like, yeah, move out the way, bruh. Don't even try it, Mia. Don't you try it. Can't cook, dang. Should've did that originally. I don't get that race at all, man. But I still won. Is that gonna be all the races? Just these weird, like, futuristic rally races? My fault. Nah, let me go ahead and rewind that. Like, Lori, it's like, stay in your lane. Just stay in your lane. I'm about to say, I was like, they doing some Wreckfest stuff where it's like, I gotta try to dodge the car before they drive through. That's a good game, by the way. Anybody wondering? It's like, should you get a video game called Wreckfest? Invest in it. Watch some videos first if you don't know what I'm talking about. But how did they spin out? How? You was doing perfectly fine. They spun out in the tunnel where it's not even wet. Like, I don't get that. I don't get that at all. I should have stopped and checked, but I'm like, this ain't cars, so I ain't stopping and checking on nobody. You spin out on purpose, that's your own fault. You could tell somebody they spun out on purpose. They did a sympathy spin out. Like, oh, people are gonna stop and check and see if I'm okay. I'm like, not me. I'm trying to win the race. Okay, well, I would rewind, but nah. So don't you try it. Don't you try it. Stay in your lane. So at least use your blinker if you're going to try to get in the lane. I may stop, but probably not. I don't get like, no, if I get like cars or if I just, I don't know what I'm getting. I do not get these races, man. I don't get how to win them. I don't even understand how to lose them. Like, they're just, you just drive and that's it. I don't know if I'm supposed to beat the time. Like, they're just go out there and drive. No winners, no losers. Just go out there and drive. Like, I wonder if they're going to work on a part 2 for this one. I feel like this one is good. And even like the OG grid games, they were good too. But I feel like there's a lot more they can do with this game rather than like, oh, let's get... I feel like it could be a competition with like other racing games if they wanted it to be. Because I'm like, this game is good. Graphics is good. And for this to be like a last-gen console game and they didn't even optimize it or nothing, like, it looks nice. It looks real nice. The scenery, like, I think there's, like, maybe some issues, but, fam, they can honestly, like, copy, paste, well, alright, maybe not copy and paste, because we don't need no copy and paste games, but they can legit go based off of this one, add a few things, and they're good. They got a part 2 to this game. Or they can even, like, remaster some of the old, grid games. That was the end of the race? Huh, alright. Can always tell when they have that confetti all over the place. Hey, what's up, Justin? How's your day going? Good. Got out of school just now. So we vibing. Cool. You been good. Came back from a run. I thought it was gonna start raining while I was outside because I was using my headphones that aren't like water resistant. And I started panicking a little bit. I was like, dang, I hope it don't start pouring down rain. I ain't got like no rain clothes on whatsoever. So I think from this day forward, I'm like, during this time of the year, I'm only wearing my earbuds, which are water resistant. That's a freaking man outside of his bike. I was like, why am I hearing like an extra rumbling noise? It's raining up there now. It was like it was like a minor amount of sprinkles. Like it just looked like maybe a few droplets and that was it. But other than that, it was it's been raining lately. Like yesterday, it was kind of storming a little bit. But it was raining pretty bad last night. Last night, I was like, dang. I'm glad I ain't one of those, like, night joggers. I'm, like, want to jog at night. But the area I live at, there ain't a whole lot of street lights. Then there's this one area that I like to jog at now. And I'm like, fam, I got one time to see something out in the woods. And I'm running for dear life. That jog is going to go from, like, a fear run. Like, I don't trust my area. I feel like there's, like, animals that's out there that's, like, just plotting, like, waiting. It's, like, some I Am Legend type stuff. Like, they wait till, like, the sun goes down, and that's when they come out. They're having a slight sprinkle. Yeah, we were having, like, I don't know. It was a big, massive amount of sprinkles. But, yeah, I don't trust the area I live at. You should. Like, you should be able to, like, trust the people around you. Trust your scenery. Trust your... Like, fam, I don't trust nothing. When I'm outside and it's dark out, I don't trust nothing. Like, I'll never forget, I was outside walking, I was coming, like, from work, but I was walking from the bus stop, because it takes a couple of buses to get, closer to my house. And so, I was walking, and the way that this street light was, like, set up, made it look like somebody was walking behind me. And I was like, fam, if somebody had been walking behind me, they had the meanest roundhouse kick of all time. I was so prepared for a fight. Once I seen my own shadow, I seen my own shadow pop up and was like, fam, like, I gotta prepare for a fight now. Crazy thing is like, even after that, I still go outside and I'm like, one would think, okay, like, because I walk with my headphones in, so I don't be hearing a whole lot. You would think after that incident, I've been like, okay, no more headphones. Or at least have, like, one ear exposed so I can be able to hear stuff. Nope, not at all. Both ears covered. I'm listening to the loudest song possible. Oh, street light. So get that twice as... Dang. Yeah. Yeah, I can't live in no area that ain't got no street lights. Like, I think that's gonna be definitely one of the things, like, the day I just move, and I'm gonna definitely make sure the house I get, I'm gonna be like, nah, is this area got, like, street lights? Like, I need, like, at least, like, 5 street lights on each street. They were like, sir, you can't make them type of demands. I'm like, oh, well, if I'm gonna be living out here, I feel like I should be, making some, sort of demands. So... I'm saying, if you want me to buy this house, I suggest you put 5 streetlights up on each street. I'm like, I want it to look like a freaking daytime when I'm outside at night. Yeah, I don't know how people do that. That's crazy. I can never be outside and there's no streetlights. Like, even in this video game, they got streetlights. So I'm like, fam, they could put some streetlights up in places. I don't know why they, like, certain areas trip about that. I wish I would have a neighbor where they're like, oh, the lights are too bright. And I'm like, well, close your eyes and don't look outside. Vivian put request something. Maybe. I don't know. Like, the area where I live, they do have, like, a lot of street lights up, so. But if there is ever a time where I do move and they ain't got no street lights, yeah, you best believe I will call up the city and be like, yeah, I'm gonna need to place an order for 100 street lights. They're like, sir, in all cities, the maximum number of street lights you can have in the city is 100. I'm like, well, for my area, for my house, I'm gonna need it surrounding my whole house. I need a street light, spotlight, a Batman light, and a flashlight. I want the biggest of the biggest and the baddest of the baddest. Like, you know what? Just take a high beam off of a car and, like, rewire it to be a flashlight and just give that to me. Because it's like I played too many video games and I've watched too many movies where it's like at night, that's like the one thing I feel like that just overall helps people is if they have lights. Like, you watch any scary movie, them guys don't be having lights. They'll have a flashlight, and then for some reason the flashlights never be charged. It's like it's never charged, or they're dealing with some like haunted entity in the house where somehow they know how to just turn off lights. I don't like scary movies at times don't be making sense. I think that's like probably the main reason why I don't find scary movies like that scary, because I'm like half of the time it just don't make sense. Like, it's like, why do they continue being in the house after people then got thrown halfway across rooms? Or you know, why they still decide, oh, let's be out in the woods and stuff and keep getting chased by Jason Voorhees? How does Michael Myers catch up to people so fast? Like, these unanswered questions, I'm like, they don't make any sense. Speaking of Michael Myers, I can't wait for this new Halloween movie to come out Friday. That's like one of the movies I grew up watching. I was like, hey, you know, dang. There we go. That never happened. But, yeah, Michael Myers, it's like, how is he, like, in the movie, he's portrayed as, like, he's, like, 70 years old, but that man can still, like, take on people that's, like, twice as younger than him. I'm like, that, I don't know about that. I'm like, that man old. I'm like, he shouldn't be the, well, I mean, he is crazy, and from what I heard, crazy people are strong, so. Type of movie, especially Friday the 13th. Jason really out here transferring his soul to other bodies. I know, right? I know, like, especially with the first Friday the 13th, when it was his mom that was going around killing everybody. And I'm like, you mean to tell me you got, like, the whole group, or everybody in that movie besides one girl got killed by a 60 or 70-year-old woman? I'm like, yeah, y'all deserve that. I'm like, you know, nobody deserves to die, but I'm like, you get killed by a 60, 70-year-old woman, and you ain't tried to two-piece her before she ran up on you. I'm like, yeah, maybe you deserved it. I'm like, that doesn't even make any sense to me. Old lady, y'all gonna get killed by her. It's like, my thing is like, crazy ain't gonna beat fear. If I'm scared, once I had seen the situation, I'm like, wait, man, we running from a 60-year-old woman? I'm like, oh, nah. I'm like, here, somebody, you be bait. when she walks up on you, I'm gonna just jump from around this tree, two-piece her. We can all go home. It's like, I don't condone violence towards women, but she done killed all my friends. I'm like, yeah, that woman gotta go. I know I'll never forget when I was a kid, I had a dream about Freddy Krueger. That's like one thing, I lived in the dream too, and then it like makes me wonder, like, dang, what would happen if that dream would have went the other way? Like, is he real? Like, it's like I really had a dream about him when I was a kid. Woke up like nothing happened. I think that's even more so a reason why I just don't get scared of scary. Like, I ain't had dreams about these scary movies and just had little to no reaction to it. So I can say you can only see exactly like that dream, and I still remember that dream like it was like it just happened. And I had that dream when I was a kid. So in the dream, so I got like stuck inside of this like cabin like house. And I'm trying to find a way out. There's no windows. There was only one door, but he was like banging on that door. So out of nowhere, there was like an opening at the top of the house. I jumped up, climbed out. As soon as my foot had like got out the house, then that's when I seen him underneath, like, and he jumped and tried to grab for my leg, but missed. And I was like, dang, what if he had got my leg? Like, would I had like leg issues for the rest of my life? I'm like, dang, would I be here today? Like, and it was just one of those like dreams. I'm like, dang. And I think out of everybody that I've ever met, like, they've never told me of them having a Freddy Krueger. I gotta ask people. And oh yeah, for sure, fam. There was one dream I remember I had with a and it like it was like, bro, I be having some of the most weirdest dreams. But there was a time where I remember this guy was like in the dream, so he's following me. And I'm like, I remember and it was in the area where I live, so I had cut down this area where some friends used to live at. And I'm like, and I think that's when I seen he turned and started walking towards my way. And I'm like, hey, yo, why are you following me? And he's still just like walking up to me and approaching me. And then out of nowhere, he pulls out a knife. So I'm like, hey, yo, what's this man getting ready to do? So he went to like stab at me, but I grabbed his arm and like twisted it and then ended up stabbing him with his own knife. He fell down and I woke up and I was like, what was that dream all about? I'm like, well, I defended myself, so right back to sleep because I'm tired and I got to go to work in a few hours, so. I'm trying to think. The one time where I did have a dream where it kept me up was when it was one of my friends had died in the dream. And I was like, that was the one dream that kept me up where I couldn't sleep. Any other dream, I have freaking dreams about the most craziest stuff. And I just was like, go right back to sleep like nothing happened. And there was just the one time I had a dream about a friend of mine's passing away. I remember I reached out to that friend and was just overall like checking to see if they were okay. Like just overall talking with them and stuff. And yeah, after that I was like, okay. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with these dreams, but dreams like that, you could go and put Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, like put them all in one dream chasing me. I'm cool with that. But no more dreams about friends of mine's dying. Bruh. Oh. Alright. Hey, that recovery though. That recovery. Alright. I hate when I'm good dream, wake up around like 3, 4 a.m. Can't go back to sleep. Go back to the dream. Be good. Your body going away. I know, right? I hate those dreams where it's like you think that you have something, but you don't, and you wake up and you're like, I remember I had a dream where I was buff. Like, in that dream, oh, bro, I was a freaking bodybuilder. Like, I was looking like I was bench pressing 320 pounds, like, for breakfast. I wake up and I'm just still the scrawny, skinny old me, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, what was the reason of that dream? Like, honestly, what was the reason? I've had so many other dreams, and I'm like, I hate dreams like that. Them are the type of, those will probably be another, like, dreams that, yeah, those are the dreams that forcefully keeps me up. And I'm sitting there and like, are you serious, man? Yeah, them dreams, I'm like, I don't like dreams like that. I'm like, hey, yo, I'm like, go back to sleep. Like, how I go back to sleep? I'm up on Google. How I go back to sleep in, like, 3 seconds. So these dreams making you feel bad about yourself. Like life be playing with you. I know, right? I hate that, man. I hate that. But that buff dream, I was like, man, I was so mad about that. Then I remember when the PlayStation 3s was coming out. That was such a weird dream too. I remember having that dream and was all like, why would I take my PlayStation 3 to school? Like, in the dream, I had it. I put it down in some, like, wooden area so I could go run around with my friends. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I think about that dream now, and I'm like, why would I do that? Like, you can't play it. Like, and then it was funny because that's what I had asked for my birthday. And then, sure enough, I ended up getting the PlayStation 3. It was weird, though, in the dream. It kind of looked like a PlayStation 4. That's the weird thing about it. Oh, man, these, like, premonition dreams that I'll have. Oh, man, it's so crazy. No, there was one time, so I had this dream, like, long before this video game had came out. Like, not even the first video game had came out yet. So that's why it's like this dream, it was so weird having it. But anyways, so in the dream, I had this dream where I was like, bats would, like, touch you and they would freeze you. So as soon as they touch you, you're frozen. Can't move, can't do nothing. Fast forward, years later, Mass Effect 2 comes out, and there's these bat-like creatures that will touch you and causes you to freeze in the game. And I was like, and I remember playing that level, and I'm like, I've seen this before. I know I've seen this before. I'm sitting here thinking it's a movie or something. I'm like, wait a minute, this was my dream. I had this dream. I can't remember when Mass Effect 2 came out, but Mass Effect 1 hadn't even been out yet. I think I was like 8 years old when I had that dream, so it was like 2004, I think. Mass Effect didn't come out years later. The first one didn't come out years later. It wasn't even an idea. They probably didn't even had that game in production. I was playing that and I was like, hey, yo, this is so weird having this dream. I should re-download that game and just overall tell people I'm like the premonition dream level. Dreams predict the future on so wild. Felt that with a few things times in my life. Oh no, bro. Like, yeah, that happens to me a lot. Prediction dreams. I'm like, yeah, it was not too long ago I had a dream where it was like a prediction dream. And yeah, it was something where I'm like, nah, because in the dream, so the dream was like overall like hanging out with this girl that I had liked, but she wanted me to hang out with her like new, like, or her boyfriend and stuff. And so, and then it was funny because like months later, she ended up reaching out to me and was just like, hey, you want to hang out? And I'm like, no. In that dream, because in that dream I was miserable, so I'm definitely not doing that. I'm like, nah, I had that dream, and I'm like, nah, I was already a part of the dream. I ain't trying to be a part of the reality. And yeah, I was like, I definitely wasn't gonna do that. So I said, nah, I was like, nope. Like, premonition or prediction dream, and ain't gonna get me caught up. Seen this before. Exactly. It's like the words that ran through. I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm like, nah, this has happened. I'm like, nope. I've been like, nah, I already hung out with him in my dream. I don't want to hang out with him in real life. She'd be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you know what I'm talking about. We was all in front of that ice cream shop. She's like, ice cream shop? We're going to spend the night at a hotel. I'm like, at some point in time, we're going to be in front of an ice cream shop. So She had been so confused. That's what I just said. Nah. I was like, you two, y'all can go hang out with each other. I'm good. I'd rather be home in the home alone, streaming and playing video games. I don't get why it's like people do stuff like that. I'm like, why would you think that somebody like you know that I like you, but you want me to go hang out with your boyfriend? Like that makes no sense to me. I would never tell a girl like, "Oh, I can't be with you, but hey, you should hang out with my girlfriend. She's cool." Like the see those theories that maybe your dreams are different timelines. That's something I even need to see. I honestly feel like that. I feel like that at times. I'll have dreams and I'm like, bruh. In my dreams, I'm like, hey yo, I want to be Dream Me. Because he's just a buff millionaire man that's just, you know, living life. So I'm like, if that's the case, I'm like, bro, put me in that timeline. Like, cause the timeline I'm in right now, I'm like, hey yo, he kind of struggling a little bit. I mean, he ain't struggling too bad, but like compared to the dream version of me, I'm like, yeah, that man's living life. That man's living a lavish life. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here playing Grid, crashing into walls. Mirrors are a weird thing too. I feel like mirrors are only weird if they do some stuff they ain't supposed to do. Like if I see a mirror like make some sudden movements and I'm like, I'm looking at that mirror for a solid 5 minutes, like, okay, do it again. So this time I can give you eye contact. Oh, that was a mistake. So your reflection is trying to block you from entering the realm by copying your movement. I know, it's like, I imagine like if I feel like a person that, you know, if you look in the mirror, like imagine like making a movement but then like tricking your reflection and you're moving faster than your reflection. I'm like, nah, you a superhero if you can do that. I think that's why it was like that movie. I felt like that was a good like training exercise for a boxer to make them faster. They had in the Creed. I think it was in the first Creed. Yeah, it was in the first Creed, and Rocky had Adonis like stand in front of a mirror and be like, I think he said something like, you know, dodge your shots or something like that. And he was kind of looking at it, but then he started thinking and like, oh, I see what you said there. I see what you want me to do. But yeah, I'm like, I made a movement and then my reflection didn't copy it. I'm just waiting for the day where my reflections are like, bruh. Like, what are you doing right now? Like, stop doing that. Maybe Rock at the gym. Yeah. Them Rocky movies, it's crazy how, like, Sylvester Stallone wrote those movies. And I think at the time, like, that, they just overall showed, like, how creative he is. And then it's like with these Creed movies, he's killing it with these Creed movies too. I heard though in this next Creed movie that's coming out that he's not gonna be in it. And I'm like, fam, if they kill off Rocky's character, that's gonna be sad. Shows up late. I know, right? I'm looking in the mirror like, what is going on? My reflection like, sorry, sorry. He's just like, you know, it's a party over here, so I'm, you know. I'm like, fam, let me come through. He's like, nah. Then that's when he starts copying me. I'm like, wow, you gonna really do this right now? Imagine the wrong reflection, like, goes into the bathroom. Yeah, yeah. I think he beat it though. I don't know. If that's how they kill him off, I know it's gonna be sad, man. I think they did say like this last Creed movie was his last, so who knows? They might do some stuff like how they did with Rocky Balboa, that sixth one they came out with, and they have it where Adrian got killed. I never did see Rocky Balboa. I seen 1 through 5, but that was like the one Rocky movie I didn't get a chance to see because they didn't have it on Netflix. They had 1 through 5, but they didn't have Balboa. I'm like, how you gonna have 1 through 5 but not Rocky Balboa on Netflix? Like, come on now. I cannot drive in this game. Well, I finished the race, so. It's a good one. I had the disc, and it's basically about him moving on, proving a point to himself. Yeah, I kind of figured it was something like that. I think I was like, I did see a scene from it though. It was like he had like this, like gave his son a motivational like speech. That was like the only thing I seen from Rocky Balboa. They say complete 4 showdown races. I don't even know what that means. Maybe it's this. I don't know.
So here we are at Brands Hatch. A great race ahead. So, what can you
But yeah, I'm like, them Rocky movies is good. Then they're coming out with like the director's cut for 4. I'm like, 4, it was sad though when they killed off Apollo Creed. And I was like, hey yo, why they need to do that? I remember sitting down like binge watching all those movies. Like I watched the first Rocky and was like, hey yo, this is actually good. I was like, I never understood these movies, but I was like, it's actually now I understand it. I was like, next time I see a boxer, I'm just gonna be like, I understand now. Then I watched 2, because 1 was when he went up against Apollo Creed. Alright. It's like 2 Creed, or 1 was Creed, 2 was Mr. T, and I think 3 was Creed. 4 was the Russian guy, and then I think 5 was the teenager, and that was that street fight. Was it 1 and 2 was Creed, and then 3 was Mr. T. I don't freaking know. The movies are so confusing, but they were good though. Dang. Car is loud. Bruh. Okay.
Please stop. Hold the lead. I'll stay.
The market moves are good. Lost track. Which one? Yeah, I lost track of it too. Cause I'm like, I don't know if it was like 1 and 2 was when it was Rocky versus Creed, or it was like 1 and 3, and then 2 was when he went up against Mr. T. I feel like 1 and 2 was when he went up against Creed, and then once when he did that, then it was Mr. T. It might have been, but I know for sure 4 was the Russian guy, and 5 was the street fight. And then Balboa, I think he was just going up against whoever. I know with Creed 2, when he went up against the Russian guy's son, I was like, bruh, he better not go out like his father. I was like, I know they ain't gonna do that with the movie, but I'm like, if they kill him off, I'm like, what was the point of doing these movies then? If he was gonna die after the second one. I'm like, he ain't got no kids. So I'm like, bruh, come on now. Or I think he did, but the daughter was like, the daughter was born deaf. Now I remember now. And they were like, talking, I remember they were talking about that. But they always doing like dark stuff in movies. I'm like, they can't just have like, that's all I'm like, fam. Let me do comedy movies. I'm like, that's the only movies I want to do. I'll do like some action-packed movies. I thought about like, you know, if I were to get into acting, I'll do some like military movies that like, you know, have like I can be in a serious situation, but it still kind of have like that comedy self. But I'm like, sometimes them serious movies, I'm like, they be sad for no reason. Texaco. I remember they had these gas stations on every corner back when I was a kid. Then I think they got bought out by Shell's gas station. Shout out to Texaco. Down the street has a Texaco gas pump. He's driving. Wow. You know that person ain't trying to let go. They're like, I'm waiting for the day. They're still probably to this day waiting for them to, for Texaco to make a comeback. He gonna be all up and down the street talking about, see, I told you, Texaco was gonna make a comeback. Like, all right, Robert, we get it. It's making a comeback. Okay, cool. I'm like, at the end of the day, the gas is still gonna be expensive. Like, Go back in the house. It's your Texaco gas pump. But yeah, it was like they used to have these, like, I remember even in the area where I went to school at, they had them out there. They had them in the apartment area, or in the area where these apartments I used to live at. And then where else? Yeah, I think that was about it. Then all of a sudden, Shell's gas station, they just bought them all up. Shell's gas station was pretty much like our Starbucks now. And then Shell's gas station, I don't really be seeing a whole lot of Shell's gas stations. I don't know, maybe I'm just not paying attention, but and this car loud. You got the light at Texaco sign hung up in his house over the garage. Wow. That man, he really don't want to let go of Texaco. He was like, look, he was like, I was there when Texaco opened up. He was like, I was there. He was like, I was there when they had gave me my first bit of gas. He was just like, I remember when they opened. He was like, I love Texaco. He was like, I met my second wife at Texaco. I'm like, bro, okay, like, we get it. You love Texaco. He's like, nah. He like, you don't understand. Texaco is, he was like, it was my life. He was like, he was like, honestly, he was like, I don't see myself, he was like, I don't see myself in the life that I'm in today if it wasn't for Texaco. Like, he makes sure he lets everybody know. Yeah, he was just like, alright, like, we get it, you like Texaco, man. He's like, no, I love Texaco. You don't get it, I love Texaco. He got you, like, cornered in your own house. He gets mad at you. He go and, like, sneak up around your house. He like, what gas station you went to? Like, Robert, I went to Texaco, man. He was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You went to Shell's, did you? I'm like, look, man, it was the only gas station that was in the area. Like, it was either that or push the car home. He like, I can't believe you cheat on Texaco like that. I'm like, fam, I ain't no relationship with Texaco. That's you that's committed to them. I'm not. Then he was like, don't go to one of those, like, gas stations. They ain't really, like, as big as, like, Texaco or Shell's. Like, go somewhere like Chevron. He was just like, you could have, he said, but look, you could have went to Shell's. You definitely could have went to Texaco. You're going to go to Chevron gas station? He's like, they're not even a real gas station. He was like, don't nobody like Chevron. I'm like, well, look, man, their gas is cheap there. So he was like, I don't care. He like, I don't care how, he was like, their gas can be free. He was like, you stay committed. He was like, this is a Texaco neighborhood. He was like, if you're not going to Texaco, then the neighbor across the street, they're like, look, just go to Texaco. Just say you went there. Or get a receipt. Check Twitter. Like, Texaco trending. Wow. Wow. He is an actual fan of Texaco. That's crazy. You know he brings it up, like, every time. He was just like, did you look up at, like, family comes over. He's like, did you look at the Texaco sign and say, thank you, Texaco? They're like, nah, man, I didn't do it. Like, I had to go to the bathroom. He's like, you ain't using this bathroom. He's like, this is a Texaco bathroom. He probably watching this stream right now. He's just like, about time he used the Texaco car. He's like, he used all those other cars. I know he probably was mad. I know he was mad when I was using the Shell's gas station Camaro. Gathering. He always offers if anyone need gas. I'm like, no, Robert, we don't need gas. None of us need, we all made sure our tanks was filled. He's like, you ain't got that Texaco gas in there. I'm like, oh my. I'm like, man, I'll see you next year for Thanksgiving. You know, I'm not doing this year. Nah. He got one more time to mention Texaco. April, his version of an April Fool's joke. They're all like, "Oh, Robert, what you do today?" He's like, "I went and got some gas at Shells." Everybody's like, "Wait a minute, what?" He's like, April Fools." He's like, "You thought I went to Texaco?" I'm like, man. That man, I was like, he puts a Chevron sign. No, I'm saying, like, I should, like, if I knew where you live, I would walk right past this. I'll knock on his door, put on a Shell's gas station shirt. I'm like, "Do you have time to talk about Lord and Savior Shells?" He'll just slam the door. Comes back with a rifle, and he said, "You got 10 seconds to get off this property right now." He's like, "This is not a Shell's gas station house." I'm like, "All right, man, dang, relax. It was a joke." He's like, "Don't you ever joke on Texaco's name like that." I'm like, "Bro, you need to relax. It ain't even that serious." Let me go ahead and buy this real quick. Yeah, that man, I'm like, that's crazy though. That somebody is that in love with Texaco.
First round, Kristen. How you feeling about this one?
Look, I feel
I know he was probably mad though when they got bought out by Shells. I know he was probably looking, he was just like, "You know what? I'm gonna remember this day." He seen the breaking news. Texaco CEO texted him and was talking about, look, there's a Texaco sign. Hey, yo, I think that man done hacked my video game. Now I feel like all of a sudden, like, it's just Texaco. It's just all across. They got signs up that says Texaco. Watch, they're like, every time I use that Camaro, I swear I'm going to use that Camaro and that the game's going to freeze. Watch. I'm going to use that Shell's gas station Camaro and game's going to freeze. Dead. Sure, too. Yeah, one. Oh, it's all chill, man. It's all chill. Yeah, I don't know. I try to, like, promote my social medias, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, I just make sure I put it off up in the areas where it's like, okay, everybody knows where it's at. So when the chance they do get and follow, I'm like, appreciate it. So, appreciate the follow. Thank you for that. That man, but he be getting into debates. He has like a podcast, the Texaco podcast. Has a friend comes onto the podcast. They're like, "Well, I don't know, man. Like Shell's gas station, they be giving me some good prices." And he was just like, "Yeah, but if it wasn't," he was like, "If it wasn't for Texaco going out of business, nobody wouldn't have been using Shell's gas. We've been using that Texaco gas." He's like, "Yeah, they might got cheap prices, but the gas is different." He's like, Texaco, he gets into a whole explanation on like why Texaco gas is better. They're like, "Well, look, man, like regular gas at Shell's, it's cheaper. You know, I still got money at the end of the week to get me some snacks and stuff, so." He's like, "What's more important, your hunger or Texaco?" He like, "I was starved to death before I use any other gas station besides Texaco." I'm like, "Fam, you need to chill with this Texaco addiction." He gonna be on that TV show, My Strange Addiction. Probably guess he win. His kid has a math problem. They have a problem inside. Involving, I know, right? Or he uses Texaco as like to help the kid out with division. He's just like, Dad, Dad, he was like, "I don't understand this question." He's like, "Well, yeah, because the question is being asked wrong." He's like, "If Johnny has 10 apples and gives away 5, how many does Johnny hit?" No. If Johnny has 5 10 Texaco gas canisters or cans, and he gives away 5, how many does he have left? Kid's like, just because you changed the item, I still don't know the answer. He's sitting there yelling it. He went and brought out like 10 Texaco gas cans, and he's like, look, now there's 10. I take away 5. How many you got left? Son's counting. He's like, you've been hanging out with your mom, have you, going to Shells? That's why you don't know. Use this shell. He like, oh, the answer is 5. He's like, I can't believe you. He probably divorced his wife too for using shell. That's his version of cheating. She done slept with multiple men, no problem. Soon as she went to Shell's gas station, he was like, that's when I knew she didn't love me no more. When she went to Shell's. She goes, then it just cuts, they do like a whole documentary thing. It cuts to her. She's like, look, I went to Chevron, Shell's. I went to this one gas place. They didn't even have no name. I just need some gas for my car. Like, if there is like a Texaco on the borderline of Texas and Mexico, oh, that's heaven for him. That is pure heaven. That's like that's Disney World for him. That's like the one thing he can't wait for. But I feel his pain though. Like, I know when they got rid of all the Blockbusters, fam. Like, I miss Blockbusters. I honestly do. Blockbusters just used to be the spot to chill at. Just look around at all the VHS tapes. Sitting there just, I'm telling you, like, Blockbusters, man. Those were the days. The Netflix and all these streaming services, and they just went crazy. They honestly, I'd swear, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go and like buy out some property and just build the Blockbusters there, so I could just chill. Let's go on Eugene, I think. Yeah, they do have one in Oregon. They do have one in Oregon. It's like the last because it's like an Airbnb now. I think there's like you can like spend the night there and stuff. So I think you can, but. Yeah, I was like, man, that's messed up. That's messed up. They got rid of all those Blockbuster stores. I used to go there all the time when I was a kid. Freaking get video games. What other stuff? Movies, of course. I remember they sold toys there. I remember when they sold toys there, that was like one of the things that crossed my mind. Like, am I gonna have to give this toy back? Because I'm like, if that's the case, I don't want the toy. I remember I think I got like a Scooby-Doo like set thing there. And I was like, fam, if I gotta get this toy back, I'm gonna be mad. Cause this toy goes hard. But yeah, I was like, I don't know why. I'm like, at the same time though, like, I guess I can understand it. Because they could have had something good going on. They could have honestly been like the best like movie franchise of all time. But no, Netflix, that's like a story I think a lot of people know already. I don't know if you've heard of it, but Netflix went to them and was all like, oh, buy out our company. And I guess Blockbusters is like, that's stupid. Like, who's gonna watch streaming? Then they can come here and just get it and stuff. And now look, Netflix, one of the biggest like platform. It's honestly it is the biggest platform out there. Like, if they really wanted to, Netflix can buy out any platform that they want.
We're in Zhejiang for today's event. The pack needs
All that money they're making. Then plus with this this one show that they got called Squid Games. Did I do the qualifying? I didn't even do the qualifying thing. Oh well. I sure forgot to do qualifying. I don't know what I guess I didn't. Is it good? Netflix or Squid Games? I haven't watched all the episodes. I only actually started watching one episode from it. I'm still on the first episode. But from what I've seen and heard, yeah. the one thing I don't like about starting like pretty much in last place. You gotta go through a freaking army of cars. Car gonna get all messed up. Did my guy have a license plate? I don't think he did. Why they trying to do? Yeah, like, go, man. Yeah, Netflix, they forever be having like good shows on there. I'm like, it's just crazy how like successful they've became over the years. Like first it was, you know, overall getting movies in the mail, and then people seeing that was like, oh, I got to get that. Then they started doing the streaming stuff. It's like, you mean to tell me I could just go and open up my computer and just watch a movie? Oh, bet. Now they got these original TV shows. Netflix is making TV shows? Oh, I gotta watch that. Like, what else is there? Like, honestly, what else can they do? They pretty much got, like, the streaming thing on lock. I mean, there's, like, other platforms that's doing good in their own ways, but Netflix is like, fam, they got that stuff on lock. They're buying TV tires and making them Netflixer. I know, right? Exactly. Because I think they already are doing that. I mean, it won't surprise me if they were doing that, but I think they already are. They are doing that. Like buying the rights to shows and then like, oh, okay, you know, new season coming out soon. I'm like, fam, like. Yeah, Netflix is like, they had like a overnight success, I feel like. Once when that whole trend of like Netflix and chill, I feel like started blowing up, then at that point, like everybody was like on Netflix.
And we're heading into the final round now, where it'll all be decided. Kristen, tell me what's gonna happen.
Probably after this race, I'm gonna go ahead and stream because I gotta work on some videos. But yeah, I'm like, HBO Max, I feel like they got like a good thing going on. They got a lot of good movies. Peacock is good too. I don't like Hulu because Hulu just got one too many commercials playing during the shows. I'm like, fam, I could just watch regular TV if that's the case. And then they charge for that. They charge for it. And I'm like, nah, that stuff should be free. Why am I sitting there paying a monthly subscription and I'm over here watching ads? And on top of that, it's like, fam, them ads was long. Can't skip them. I'm like, hey, it does even, it's like, nah, I'm out here Hulu and cuddle. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, Hulu, that's the thing though. I'm like, I don't like ads. I don't like commercials and stuff. I can't even cuddle. I'd been mad. Girl would have been like, she'd have been like, babe, why are you so angry? I'm like, cuz, look how many ads they're playing right now. She's like, but we're not here for that. I'm like, well, I am, because I want to watch Atlanta right now. They got one too many ads playing. I'm like, I can't even think straight. She'd be like, it's not that serious. It's just a commercial. I'm like, but look. It ain't the show. I'm like, it's a commercial. It ain't the show. I want to watch the show.
And we're heading into the final round now, where it'll all be
Following her progressive right now. Want to watch Bob? Exactly. Exactly. Like, if I want to watch Flow and progressive commercials, guess what? They got a whole YouTube channel where I can watch that stuff. But for now, yeah, Bob's Burger, I turn to that. I ain't turn to no Flow progressive commercials. And them commercials be long, bro. Like, I think it's either like 100 and something seconds or 200 and something seconds. And I'm like, that's not a commercial. That's a show within the show. Like, that's like in some Inception type stuff. I'm like, nah, I ain't come here for all that. I came here for a show. Like, imagine going to like a live show, like a live wrestling show, and halfway through they're like, oh, we gotta take a commercial break. The wrestler stopped reffing, referee, he'd stop, you know, being a ref. The lights go black, and then you just look at the big jumbo screen, and it shows Flow. I'd be so mad I walked out. I walked out of that show. I might pay tickets and all that, but I'm like, nah, that's stupid. Like, ain't no way I'll sit down and watch no stuff like that.
Final lap 2.
Great first lap, you're leading the race.
Like, beautiful pursuit. I'm like, man, these guys ain't nowhere near me. Some of them still show the little wrestling commercial play. And that's cool, but make the screen a little... I know, right? I be sitting there trying to look at the screen. I'm like, fam, I don't know who's wrestling right now. I don't know if that's John Cena or a John Cena lookalike. Like, who is that? No, what was really upsetting was when they were showing commercials during the pay-per-view. Now, Peacock, I'm like, look, you guys got something good going on here, but don't do that no more. Do not do that no more. That was the dumbest thing ever. I'm like, fam, I came here to watch a pay-per-view. Pay-per-view. Not a pay-per-view and commercials. Like, what was that? It was Extreme Rules. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, Peacock, you guys are high. You're either high or drunk. If you think I'm going to sit down and watch commercials. They really had commercials playing. And it wasn't even like planned commercials. You know how like Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, all that stuff, they're like, oh, we'll be right back after this, after a few messages or after this break. Peacock would just cut straight to a commercial and then cut right back to the match. So you're sitting there like, what just happened? What's this? I'm like, oh, you guys are high. Like, nah, I got to, like, nah, some stuff like that, like, I gotta talk to somebody about that from Peacock. Like, bruh, I'm saying, like, I'd call them up and be like, okay, y'all pull that mess again. I'm gonna send a live Peacock to your guys' place. Not even one. I'll send like about 20 live Peacocks to your guys' place. Like, inject them with steroids and have everybody in the whole Peacock headquarters get attacked. I'll do some evil stuff. I'll put a Peacock in each worker's car, including the janitor. Because I'm like, look, the janitor, you could have said something about this. You've been like, bro, I didn't know. I'm like, well, you know now. You know not to ever disrupt my wrestling, especially when it's a pay-per-view. I was like, you guys are high thinking somebody want to sit down and watch this. I still don't know. There's a way where I can look at all the... Kevin Hone. I know, like, fam, if they had showed like a wrestling, I can't really remember too much of the pay-per-view, but if they had showed a wrestling move and then cut to the, oh, nah. I'd been like, nah, now I got beef. It's like, now I got beef with you guys because you guys is doing some stuff that's just, it don't even make sense. I wish there was a way that you can like look at all the different cars rather than like, oh, let's just only show them a few cars at a time. Because I don't know which cars. These are all the cars. Cuts to commercial before the pin comes back. Someone celebrate. I know. Or it's like you don't even get to see who's like celebrating the win. They cut to a commercial, come back, and they're showing they was like, oh my god, what a crazy ending to that match. Oh, I called up Peacock right then and there, and said, no, now we got beef. I'm like, now we got problems. So I gotta buy those seasons, but they don't let you know like. Yeah, I'm like, I don't even freaking know. But anyways, I know one thing. Where is it? How can I check? Yeah, I can't wait for this because they said I think it's coming out tonight. Details, release day. They not show? Hold on for a second. Hold on. Let me see some things real quick. Yeah, it says coming out today. Coming out later today. Okay, cool. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be playing this tonight. So, played the beta. It's fun. Left 4 Dead. Yeah, I played the beta. The beta is pretty good. I can't wait for it to come out though tonight. I'm definitely gonna be streaming this game tonight. So, anybody that likes the grid streams, I'm like, you just gonna have to miss out on that because I'm definitely gonna be playing some Back 4 Blood. So. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead in this stream, go work on some other stuff. But in the meantime, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you to everybody that stopped by today. Stay tuned for the next stream, and peace.